What's up, everybody? This is Jay Young's list that he used to get top four. He actually got third. No, he got fourth overall in the Missouri states over the past weekend. So here it is. It's a Manectric Crobat deck, and I have not seen anybody play this except Jay. He played it in Florida, and he almost topped 32 if I remember correctly. And obviously he did good in Missouri, so this is a deck to watch out for. So let's go over the deck really fast. So you have Manectric EX, which has Overrun, which does 20 and 22 bench, which is cool because you play the Crobats, so you kind of stack damage that way. And then you have Assault Laser, which does 60, and it has a tool on it 60 more, so it's 120 that way. With the Muscle Band, 140. And with a Crobat, when you're surprised by it, it's 170. So that's kind of how Jay plays the deck. It does have one Jirachi for consistency, a 4-4-3 Crobat. Of course, Zubat has free flight for free retreat. And it plays 4 Golbat. When you put it down, you put 2 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon. And you have 3 Crobats for Sneaky Bite, which puts 3 damage counters on your Pokemon. He goes over a lot in his interview. It's pretty long, but it's also really good to go watch. Some crucial things to notice about this deck is it does play his ace pick is Up Cyclone. We talked about some in the video. We talked about the 4 head ringers, how really good that is, how the 2 rough seas beat Toad, how the 4 super scoop ups are really good, especially with the trump card. So make sure you watch the interview. It's actually really good. Jay is a really talented player who doesn't give that much, doesn't get a lot of acknowledge, I guess is the right thing to say. He did do good at Nationals last year too, so he is a player to watch out for. If you've never seen him before, you can finally, see him and hear what his thoughts about Pokemon are. It's pretty good. We talked about a lot of decks too. We talked about like Exeggutor, and I think we talked about Groudon some too, if I can remember correctly. But here is the interview with Jay. Hope you like it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Nicholas YouTube channel. Today we're having another States Questions Answer video with...
I am Jay Young from St. Louis.
And did you play in St. Louis this weekend?
I played in St. Louis.
Oh my goodness! How good did you do good this weekend?
Yeah, we went 402 during Swiss, making it into the top 8 as 3rd seed, and then finished 4th overall.
Okay, so you 402, so you tied twice. So what were your 2 ties?
My tie was against Eden Lewis playing Lando Bats, and then against Kyle Harvland playing Yveltal.
Oh wait, before we get into that, what did you play this weekend?
I played Manectric Bats.
And when you say Manectric Bats, like Manectric Toad Bats, or like just...
No, like, it's Manectric, and then a bat line. A very thick bat line. That's all it is.
There you go. That's all you need, obviously.
Yep. Very simple.
So, what did you... so you said you lost the top 4, right?
Yes.
So who did you play against top 4?
I played against Andrew Wambolt in top 4, and he was also playing Yveltal.
Ooh, so was that like a rough matchup, or did you not hit what you need, or what?
Game 1 went really easily. Game 2, I tried to donk a Trubbish because he didn't get anything, and I missed energy, and then continued missing energy for the next 2 games. So... It wasn't spectacular. Probably should have played a higher energy count, honestly.
It just wasn't your day. How many energy did you play?
Played 8 in my current list.
8 seems kind of okay.
Yeah, I probably should have done 9 or 10 or played a Prof letter. Either one would have probably been pretty acceptable.
Yeah. So who'd you play against the top 8?
I played against Carrington Huffman. He was playing Toad Garb with Leafeon as like an anti-Toad tech. That was a 2-1 match, and then obviously Andrew Wambolt in top 4.
Okay, so what was your favorite match to play against this weekend?
Probably straight Yveltal. That was quite a bit of fun.
Did you play it a lot this weekend? Because I know everybody was hyping Yveltal.
I played against straight Yveltal twice, and then Yveltal Toad twice.
Okay. So, and then what was your hardest matchup? Was it Wambolt because you missed the energies, or did you actually have like a hard matchup?
It actually would have been the one person I ID'd with intentionally, Eden Lewis. He played Lando Bats. Mm-hmm. Neither one of us wanted to lose to each other, and so we ultimately decided with the field the way it was, we could both reach top by IDing.
Now, was that the last round, or like taking the last round?
No, it was it was actually the 4th or 5th round of the tournament. 5 out of 6.
Oh, so in the 6th round, did you have to win to make it in, or would you like?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, we both did.
Oh man, that's so scary.
Yeah.
But
It was an interesting choice. I'm really upset he didn't end up making it in, but he did get points, thankfully. But his opponent wouldn't let him win, even though he had one prize to take on turn 3, and he had 6 prizes to take. So
it's one of those
yeah,
weird things. Like
it's one of those pride issues, really.
yeah. I mean, we've all been there. I mean,
Hmm.
that's why Pokemon kind of needs to maybe adjust that rule. Maybe like the last round, if you tied, neither one makes it in. Maybe that's I don't know.
It's one of those things where it's like maybe the adjustment is okay if your opponent is up 5 prizes by the time turn 3 happens and the board is in a certain state, and
Yeah,
maybe it's a state of judgment or something. Because judges play, they know what's going on. Like
exactly.
it's a very weird thing. I don't know.
So, you gonna go to any more states?
Right now, the plans are to go over to Kansas regionals. I don't know who exactly I'm carpooling with. Wambold and I talked about it quite a bit,
Hmm.
so it'll probably be me and him and maybe like one other person.
So no more states then? You're done for now?
Yeah, done for 2 weeks at least.
Oh, okay.
Time to rest up and come up with a new thing.
No more Manectric bats?
I don't know. It was one of those choices that was really good for the meta that I was in. It was all Yveltal and all Toad. There was like one Flareon, one Exeggutor. There's 2 Steel, a Genesect. Like there was almost nothing other than Lando, or not Lando, Yveltal and Toad.
Yeah.
And the Toad matchup is pretty favored, and the Yveltal matchup is certainly favored. So
Yeah. Now you played this for Florida regionals too, right?
yeah, the only adjustment I made was adding a trump card to this particular list.
Mm-hmm.
The main reason was in Florida I played against Brandon Salazar, and the Nightmare matchup is kind of difficult, so Trump kind of secures that. And then the Flareon matchup, you can lose it even if you did play it correctly,
Yeah.
but at least this is more tolerable and you can control it a little bit.
Gives you like a little bit of chance with those.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those things. It's like, oh, they opened 3 battle compressors. Well, I'm searching out Jirachi with my first Ultra Ball, not a bat. So,
Now, okay, so you choose Scoop Up Cyclone as your ace spec. Do you love that card? Or is it kind of iffy? You might change it.
um, computer search is definitely more consistent, but I can tell you right now, I played scoop ups a lot, and Cyclone is 100% scoop up.
Yeah.
So, and it comes in handy. It's super clutch because it's surprisingly hard to hit 180 or 170 on a Manectric. A lot of the time this tournament, people would hit 160. I'd play a rough seas, heal off damage, take the knockout, and then they wouldn't kill me with a return attacker or something, or they
Yeah.
just wouldn't have anything set up because they invested into it. So it's one of those things where it's like, scoop up. Okay. Well, now I have energy muscle band in my hand and another Manectric, so I'm set. I don't even need to search anything. So
I guess it's good too because you played the Lysander trump card. You can just kind of just reuse the Scoop Up
use it
Cyclone.
a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems really
I
good.
used it. So I played against Serena Radu round 2, and she was actually the first seed going into day 2. I used Scoop Up in game 1 4 times. I was able to get myself out of Toad Lock because she was playing Toad Bats.
Uh-huh.
I was able to get myself out of Toad Lock 4 different times and scoop up Cyclone. It was pretty awesome.
How did you get out of the Toad Lock?
A couple of the tricks were she played one Mewtwo and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put enough damage on it where she was forced to retreat, and she didn't want to go into her other Toads that would have a lot of damage. Because you can kind of play the slow game with Rough Seas and then deny it from your opponents when they try to rely on it. So I kind of just played around that a little bit. There was actually one time where she just left her one of her bats active for me to take only 1 prize and not 2, and that was 1 turn. So
Yeah, okay. That seems good.
it was pretty effective.
So you play 2 fan club now. How often did you hit it when you need it?
Specify, because that's a loaded question.
I mean, okay, so you obviously play fan club turn 1 so you can get the Zubats out quicker.
Yeah.
Did that happen a lot or no?
It happened more often than you'd think. If I started a supporter, a lightning energy, and had either a Manectric or a way to get into a Manectric, I would almost always Ultra Ball for the Jirachi for the fan club, play fan club, get 2 bats, Manectric, lightning in play, turn 1.
There you go.
I did that probably about a fourth to 2/3 of my games, just kind of in that general range.
Yeah.
And anytime I started fan club, I almost always played it.
Oh yeah,
So
no doubt.
it was pretty great. The other thing about it was because I knew there was going to be a really heavy Toad meta. You can't always search out Pokemon when you're under Toad Lock because of how reliant we are on Ultra Ball.
Yeah, true.
So that was kind of another way to do it, and it actually came in real handy against Carrington. I actually fan clubbed for 2 Manectrics, like turn 3 or something like that, because I had Lightning in hand. I just had really nothing else to get to them, and so I was just like, okay, well, here's my opportunity, and I'll go for it.
Yeah, it seems to look good. Now, I imagine the 4 Headringer help a lot in the Toad matchup, right?
I wish it did.
Did it not?
I genuinely, I almost never started Headringer this tournament.
Oh man.
It was great in the Evoltol matchup, only because there were a lot of times my opponents would be like, I don't know how many he plays. Maybe it's like 1 or 2. There'd be like 1 in my discard or something like that. And, mid to late game, they would either go into a Darkrai or Yveltal and then be like, okay, I'm not putting a tool on this because I don't want him to do 120 and set up knockouts with the bats.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it blank, and then I'd Headringer them, not take a knockout, set up multiple knockouts using Overrun, and they'd just be like, well, I have 3 EXs I can't go into now. What do I do? So.
It seems. Oh man, that seems real good. All right. Well, do you want to talk about anything else about your deck or anything?
Rough Seas I kind of touched on.
Yeah.
That card, at first glance, is like, oh, you heal 30 from water and a lightning Pokemon, whatever. That card is disgusting. So, in my game against Serena, I healed over 400 damage. I healed 2 Manectrics from 160 to full in Game 1. In Game 2, I did that with another 2 Manectrics and one that had like maybe 100 on it, I don't remember. That was Toadbat. I healed 150 off against Kyle, Game 1. Against Michael, I healed 2 Manectrics that he couldn't take knockouts on, over 100 damage. Like, you get the idea where this is going. Like, almost every game, I'm healing like over 100 damage with this card if I'm not just plopping it down every single time and only using it to counter other stadiums. That card is really good.
It seems like it's really good. And I guess, like, even though if you play against Toad or something, like, they can only smack you for 50 while you smack them for, like, maybe, like, 60. So, like, you can heal more than they can, I guess, technically.
Well, like, the one thing is they're not going to... At least when I played against Serena, the reason... So Game 2 she decked because she took knockouts. The reason for that was she would just Quaking Punch me, but she's not going to put down a Muscle Band because then I can kill her Toad with Assault Laser. And so she's just smacking me for 40 with poison. So I heal it. It goes down to 10 and then 20 in my passing turn. I'm basically taking 20 damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Between passing turns with laser and stuff. And so, like, it wins you the Toad matchup. It makes Yveltal really easy because you can let them smack a Manectric a couple times and either pick it up, whatever. It's just a really good card. It also makes your Landobats matchup not unbearable, but I wouldn't recommend playing that matchup very much because it's hard. They have to miss it quite a bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, imagine like almost anything fighting will probably give you a run for your money.
Groudon's not terrible. Remember that?
Yeah, that's because I misplayed and like I put down too many Pokemon.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Would you call that really a misplay when you didn't acknowledge the situation ahead of time, and it could have happened Game 1 and Game 2?
Yeah.
Like if you start a Landorus, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, true.
You can't just deny putting down Pokemon you need for a matchup.
But I know Game 2, I put down a bunch of Pokemon that I shouldn't have.
That was Game 3. Yeah, you had all Halucha. You had, like, Game 3, you had, like, 3 Halucha and your Groudon. That was, like, it, I think. And I was just like, well, I can't do anything, so...
Yeah, I was like, alright, we're not
gonna... I'm too many bats. I can't kill this thing. But, no, it's one of those things where it's like... Dawn Fan was actually kind of easy. It was really funny. Like, you think, oh, they just spinning turn and run away from you. It's like, no, like, I killed a Robo Subs and then they have to put something active, so I'm gonna take a knockout.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
so,
I think
that was kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, anything with Robo Sub seems pretty good because you can just crowbat and kill it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny, though, because, like, previously, like, on the Rough Seas point, I would take more knockouts on, like, at least against Serena, I took more knockouts on her bats than anything because I can hit the bench. Like, game 2, the reason she decked, I took 3 prizes off of Crowbats. Not Assault Laser, just over constantly and then sniping them with the bat damage. It was one of those things where it's like, neither one of us are going to kill each other, so I'm going to kill your other stuff.
It's weird. You'd think people would still put Mr. Mime in their deck with all the landy bats being big. But I guess not.
Everybody, like, even then, it's like, okay, I did maybe like 50, 80 damage with Overrun, whatever the number is. Bats are still damage counters, and people just are like, nah, people play Silent Lab, and that was actually something I considered in the deck and never got around to it, but,
Would you switch any cards out? Like, would you add more repeat? Because I see only one repeat ball. Like,
that was a last-minute change in Florida because I didn't want to keep playing 4 Ultra Ball. 1 repeat ball seemed really good because like the whole deck is 3+ of the same card besides Jirachi, so it was just kind of a no-brainer. At least for this tournament, I would have taken out Trump because there was 1 Flareon and he didn't do very well, and 1 Night March who didn't do very well.
That's so weird.
It's like, okay, I probably should have just cut that, but
yeah,
I mean that would have just been another Crowbat or maybe like another Rough Seas. Looking back on it now, because that card got in there so hard.
I mean, but it's always hard to tell what people want to play. So
yeah, no, like my meta call was just Yveltal Toad and maybe 1 fighting, and I was like, I'll take 1 auto loss, 3-1-1 or 4-1-1 guaranteed in anyways. So.
Yeah, exactly. Now, okay, let's say if you were playing States next weekend with all the Toad and all the Evothal doing good, would you still play Manectric or would you still switch? Would you switch to something else?
I'd strongly consider Landy Bats because it actually has not a terrible matchup against either, and it does better against everything else that Manectric Bats struggles with, which is Lando, Dawnfan, and Groudon. Like those are the 3 hardest decks for this, probably.
Yeah.
So
why did you choose to do Landy Bats over Manectric Bats?
For week 2?
Or just in general, why did you pick Manectric over like Landy when you went into the tournament?
It has a really high damage cap. Most people don't play the matchup correctly. It has a stronger turn 2 than Lando Bats. Like, so in a hypothetical situation, you compare both decks side by side. Alright, Lander's turn 1, attach strong energy, muscle band, stadium, swing. I just did 90-30, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Manectric, the most you're probably doing is 40-20. Turn 2, they're doing the same damage. Turn 2, I'm killing something.
Exactly, okay.
That's kind of the mindset. It has a stronger turn 2 than most decks, so going first is not nearly as bad. Like Lando Bats, I'd almost say you want to go second, almost.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the case of N being in format and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, it seems really good.
Yep.
You want to talk about anything else?
I
think we touched on everything.
Exeggutor subject.
Eggs? So, talk about eggs?
We'll talk about eggs a little bit. Okay. I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
So, eggs showed up this weekend. I was actually hoping it would completely be gone. There was 1 at my tournament. I know Jason Klaczynski played it in Chicago.
And there's a couple in Georgia, too.
I think there was a couple, yeah.
Or in Alabama,
I didn't hear how many, but... So the 1 at my tournament played Greninja with Archies. Hadn't seen that before. That seems really nasty. Just like on paper. It's like, okay, your supporter droughted. You're drawing 1 per turn. Unless you're playing bikes and stuff, I'm gonna double your draw every turn or more. Like, that doesn't... The deck itself, it seems really good on paper, but it's one of the weird decks where it can actually, like, kill itself if it draws really badly.
Yeah.
Like, if you start too low in eggs or something like that and get no draw support or, like, miss Ultra Balls or whatever, I don't know. I don't know how well your testing's been going with it.
I mean, it's kind of weird too because if you start like it's weird because like the worst thing you do is start an egg like an egg. Even though you kind of want to start an egg, you don't want to start an egg.
Yeah.
If you go,
You want to start an egg on your bench.
yeah,
And because egg doesn't have free retreat and you play such a low energy typically, it's like that was the one thing at least about the Manectric bats was like if I start a Zubat, I don't care, it has free retreat.
uh huh,
I start a Manectric, that's typically what I want in the active majority of the time.
yeah,
Like this is the case where you don't ever want this Pokemon on the bench unless it's hiding behind a mime and something in front of it to take a hit.
exactly.
Like, and even then, you know, I don't see bats going away either.
Oh yeah,
Personally.
I never see bats
Like,
going away. It's too good.
It's such a weird concept. Like besides Exeggutor, it's like, oh, item lock actually a thing, and train or supporter lock. It's like bats is 200 plus damage
Yeah.
when you play it from your hand. Like that's so weird.
I know that somebody was playing eggs in Florida or in Alabama, and they kept losing to like Lucario bats just because like Lucario. Because I mean, like Lucario's second attack admits you draw until you have 6.
Yeah.
So you basically get to like drop bats down, when out, and draw on cards.
Yeah, just thin your hand as fast as possible. Play corkscrew smash. Yeah,
Yeah. So.
I don't. Was it like straight Lucario bats?
Yeah, supposedly he only played one Landy.
That's really interesting. I always thought Lucario was really good, but like Landorus does a lot of damage.
Yeah, it does. So I don't know why the guy played a lot of Lucarios, but it worked against eggs.
I don't know about you, but I've seen a drop off in Mewtwo techs and decks with DCE.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a huge drop off with it.
Oh, I know. Like most of the Scyther decks are just playing Scyther now. They're not even playing Mewtwo anymore.
Yeah, I wonder if that's to beat themselves or like. Because it's like if you start Mewtwo and then they search out Mewtwo turn 1, because you each get a turn with trainers.
Uh-huh.
It's like, okay, if I start Mewtwo DC, he searches out Mewtwo DC, then I die. Do they feel like that just auto loses that for them? Like I don't understand that interaction that much.
Idea.
I hate Toad mostly, but I don't know. Well, okay, so here's my thing about Toad, and this is just a complaint in general. Item lock is fine, but when item lock is applied through an attack and there's no inherent way to remove the effect, like if safeguarders and like I wouldn't say retreating because that's way too easy, but like safeguarders specifically or like Pyro's intimidating main, if
or
that
Trevenants.
was like or Trevenants, like maybe Trevenant, Trevenant's like no item guards, but something to that effect where it's like okay, the effect of the attack is on you. But if you have something that blocks effects, right, not effects on trainers was the whole debacle with that. Like, I'd be okay with it. But there's no inherent way to just, like, beat Toad. Toad beats itself. Genesect doesn't always beat Toad either, and that's, like, the counter. That's
what everybody keeps saying, too. Like, I'm just going to play VG, and I'm like, I promise you, VG does not... I am a very avid VG player, and I promise.
Yeah, so that's the thing. We're both really avid VG players. Like, I played it at Nationals and got 36. Like, I could tout about that whatever I want, but the fact of the matter is like, Genesect doesn't inherently beat Toad. It has a good matchup against Toad, and you can win it. But if they end you down to 2, get rid of all your energy, and then item lock you and end you to 1, like, what do? Yeah. You can't prof letter for your energy anymore. Unless you have, like, at least in that matchup, I always had a Verizian setup. Like, I wouldn't go, like, double Genesect like most people do.
I just go multiple Verizians.
Yeah, exactly.
But even then, if they get a turn 1 Quake and Punch Headringer, you just cry. Like, you're like...
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I'm about to take so much damage. I just took 90 to just attack. Like, it's one of those things, man. Like, Toad is his own worst enemy. And I think, so a funny thing about this weekend was Britt played at States, obviously, because he's in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And his list, it consisted of 4 Jinx, a Keldeo, random receiver infrastructure for supporter draw, and Quad Toad.
Yeah.
No Lysander.
It played 4 Juniper, I think 4 Acro, and 4 Roller Skates.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And I think he played 4N or maybe 2N or something like that.
No, he didn't play any N.
Really? I heard he played Summon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know two people that played him. They said he played Summon.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they're remembering wrong, but like, it's one of those things where it's like you're doing this to beat the mirror, and you're playing the mirror.
Exactly. Like
You're playing the deck to beat the deck.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
But I mean, it must be good because I think it was Curtis who won Michigan, and he played Britzless too. Let me make sure.
Oh, did he? I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
That's
Curtis played. I think he played almost Britzless or like really similar because he gave a shout out to Brit for the list, and he played the same exact thing. It was just like Toad, Jinx, and like Ran Receiver, Roller Skates, Acrobikes.
Yeah, it's interesting. He played against Carrington during Swiss, and like the thing about it was Carrington decked himself, and he was Carrington's one loss because like the way Carrington built his deck, it was like bike, acrobike, no roller skates, but what else did he have? Like pretty standard supporters, lasers, crushing, like every card he could play besides his supporters, like all the time. Along with the Leafeon line, which I think it was like 2-2 maybe. And it was one of those things where it's like, well, I don't know. Like, when we played, he dumped it every time. Like, he just never put them... he put an EV down once, I killed it. No, okay, so here's the thing. The one turn he had the EV available to Evo, he's like, no, I need this Mewtwo. Puts the energy on the Mewtwo, and then the next turn I kill it. He's just like... I guess we should Evo evolution. And I'm like, I mean, that was one knockout, like, whatever. But I took more knockouts on Jirachi this weekend than I'd like to admit.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
People put it down and I head ringer it and just pull it up and kill it.
Jeez.
It's like, this is like the one deck, it's like, yeah, I could just do 90 for free. It doesn't matter. Like,
and even then, you don't have to license. You can just snipe it and kill it.
I sniped it against Michael Hopkins game 1. Like, he had me beat. I got my energy off a prize. Like, the one last prize I took, I did 30 with the Crobat, 30 again. He kills the Crobat, takes the prize. I get a Sycamore, get my last energy, snipe for game. Like,
he just cries.
It was the greatest thing.
It's like, dang it, Jirachi, you failed me.
And everybody always complains. It's like, oh, you either win games or lose games off Jirachi. You know.
Did you win or lose your top 4 game because of Jirachi?
I lost one of my games. Let's be clear here. It wasn't both. Oh, my gosh. That's the funny thing. Okay, so Wambolt and I played in the League Challenge the day before, right? And I played really greedy. I played Jirachi, didn't get a Sycamore, got a fan club instead, and then proceeded to draw dead, and I was really upset. Well,
I always hate that.
Okay, so here's the thing. Today I do the same thing. And he's like, didn't you learn your lesson from yesterday? And the judge like looks at him like he's just a total D. And I go, don't worry, Wimble, I got this. He goes, all right. I scoop up Cyclone the Jirachi, play it back down, grab a Sycamore with it, and pass. And he goes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm just like, yeah, this is great. But, no.
Oh my goodness.
No, I had a really good time. It actually ran really smoothly. We had like one issue in the tournament, and that was like it. So,
what happened?
Besides there being like, probably should have gotten DQ'd. One player had 61 cards in his deck. He had written 60 down on his deck list, but had 61 in deck. And by round 4, he realized it while he pile shuffled, called the judges over, explained it, showed it to him, and so he got a match loss. But he called himself on it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do it intentionally. That's pretty blatantly obvious now.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things. It's like, that sucks. That was like the only thing, though. Everything else ran really smooth.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. We had like we had one repair, I think. It was like round 5 or something like that. Yeah. It didn't have top type, which was cool, so I was like, okay, whatever. Kyle was like, repair me! The whole time.
How do I play him? What was Kyle playing?
Yveltal, Garb.
Oh, yeah.
So, I ended up tying him, unfortunately. Time is called. I have game in hand flip for sleep, get tails. I'm like, man, okay. Super scoop up, pick up my Manectric. I have one on my bench with no energy though,
Mhm.
so I put it on my Crobat with a muscle band, and Lysander or Garbin kill it, and I have the other Lysander in hand. I have both my Lysanders, or it was like Lysander VS Seeker, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
And that was turn 3, and I go, do you have an end? He goes, no, I don't have an end. And he like flashes his hand at me because obviously the game's over. I'm like, and I show him. He goes, oh man, you had game next turn, huh? I go, yeah, I did. Good thing we tied, I guess. And sort of sticks his tongue out at me and then hands me the slip to sign. I'm like,
Huh.
wow. You don't have to be that way about it. You could have given me the win, or you could have just been nice about it and been like, no, dude, we're both 3-0. We'll get in, no problem. He proceeded to lose his next 2 rounds, so justice was served. But, you know.
It's alright. He already has his invite. He doesn't need any more.
Does he have his invite?
Wait, which Kyle are we talking about?
Kyle Hart.
Haverland?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Haverland.
yeah, I think so.
Does he? I need to look that up.
I think
don't.
he's top 16.
Oh, really? Could have given me the win.
Let's see here. Let me check. We're talking about the same Kyle.
Yeah. Kyle Haverland, I think is how you say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh well, he didn't top anyways. Whatever.
Yeah,
That's
he's already. I think he's already like top 16 before this weekend. So.
Wow. Good on him.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows I feel that way. Like we were talking later, and like we're cool. It was just like, man, you should have just scooped at me. Like, you know, I had game. What? And he's like, yeah, well, you know. So
it's always weird because it's only the the 4th round. So.
yeah, but it's like one of those things where, yeah, the argument was, oh yeah, we'll both make it in, and then he loses the next 2 rounds.
Well,
but like,
you kept up on your end.
yeah. To be fair, I don't know if I would have played Michael if I lost to Eden, which we did play 2 quick games and I would have lost to him. Like, they were really quick games. Lando Bats is not fun.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
When they always Karina for a Landorus muscle band, you probably lose. You probably lose.
I wonder how much damage they're going to do to me.
When I played, I don't remember if I told you this, but when I played Ryan Sablehouse in Florida round 2, I missed a knockout on his Lander CX by 10 damage on turn 2 or 3. I don't remember exactly. And it was a muscle band or another bat, and just scoop up cycloned it, and I was just like, no, that was me having game.
I was so close.
If I killed that, I would have been fine, because I proceeded to take 4 more prizes that game. Like, it was fine. It was just taking that first Lando knockout. Like, that's how the deck wins. You take the 1 knockout, you're fine. It's getting that knockout. It's the struggle.
Yeah. I mean, the list seems good, though.
Yeah, like I said, there wouldn't be a lot of changes I would make to it. You need 4 search. I really recommend 4 scoop ups. That card gets in there really heavily, especially since overrun's a good attack. Rough Seas is kind of necessary. Maybe Magnetic Storm would be okay. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Like, I didn't test it that heavily. I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. All right. Like, it just left it at that.
I'd probably pick Rough Seeds over that, though.
Yeah, Rough Seas just got in there really hard. I was very impressed. But, so, that's pretty much the deck and the tournament.
Do we got any? Want to give any shout-outs or anything before we wrap it up?
Shout out to Yetting Gaming. Good facility, good tournaments. The stream was fun for the little bit I was able to be on it. They treat everybody there well. Like, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Vince always great.
Yeah, you, Josh, you're a great guy.
Yeah,
you're
you too, buddy.
Guy. Shout out to Wimbledon Finals. I will get you next time, as long as I don't whiff. It'd be fine if I don't whiff. Everyone else in the tournament was great. Definitely Eden for IDing with me. That was super nice of him. It's so just crappy he was not able to get in.
Yeah.
It was his opponent, not him. Like, he played a great tournament, so.
As always, next week.
Yeah,
For,
there's always next week. I think he's going to like 3 more, so I wouldn't be too worried
oh
about
yeah,
it.
he's perfectly fine.
Yeah, he
So,
just needs some points, and then he'll be fine.
yeah. Well,
So.
hopefully you can get your 30 more points.
Yeah, or like wait, so I was at 209, and then how much did I get? 75, I think.
I don't know.
Top 4. Oh gosh, you're gonna make me look this
I
up.
don't know.
Top 4 for
Look, points
states.
don't matter to me anymore.
I know, I know, I know.
I mean, it'd be cute to get top 16, but like, that's gonna be hard.
Oh, Kyle has 354. He has invite.
Yeah. I know first place gets 100, and that's all I know.
Yeah, and then second's 90. I heard today. So, state and province. Do. I got 70, so I am 21 away.
21. There you go.
21.
Are you maxed out elite challenges yet?
Nope.
How many more you got of those?
I think I have like 3.
Oh, well, there.
So, yeah, exactly. I'm genuinely not worried just because, there's last year at Nationals I did well, so I'm hoping to have a repeat there.
Uh-huh.
I consistently make top 64 at regionals so far, so that's cool. As long as I don't have like a really bad tournament. This St. Louis regionals was not the best. I should have tested more. I was just like, I'll play Genesect. I always do well with Genesect. It'll be fine.
Nope.
Manectric Landorus, Flareon, Night March, Fairy Box, and you draw all your energy, so you miss 3 Emerald Slashes. Oh, there goes your tournament.
Well,
like
next year.
Yeah, that's what I said last year.
Oh no.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can do it, buddy.
I know.
All right.
I have
Well, thank you for doing this, sir.
no problem.
And
Anytime.
good luck to you in your regionals. So.
Same to you.
Alrighty, man. See you later.
Yep. Bye-bye.